Kari, it's a pleasure to meet you. And may I extend a heartfelt congratulations on this honor and being part of the class of 2021 Silver Beavers. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I am thrilled to receive this honor. I'm humbled by it because I know how much other people give to Scouting, but it's just really wonderful to receive this award.
So having received this award, what does this Silver Beaver Award signify for you?
For me, it signifies that people value what gets done in committee meetings and board meetings, and see that that contributes to Scouting too. And I really appreciate that because I know that it takes all kinds of different efforts to make Scouting happen. And the people on the ground are the ones who are, I think, most important because they deliver the program to the young people. But it's nice to know that people see value in the work that we do on the board and the committees and discussions and other work that we do. And I feel very honored that that's being recognized.
You know, it's been an amazing year for women in Scouting. And it's been wonderful to see all that focus that's been on our very first class of female Eagle Scouts. You yourself were elected the first female Northern Star Council president in 2019. What do these precedents mean to you?
I think it's really exciting to see girls have an opportunity to have the adventure and the experience of Scouting. I was very happy that I got a chance before the pandemic to go see Troop 283, the girls' troop in Wayzata, and I got to spend the evening with them. And it was so fun to see them embracing Scouting, doing the skits, singing the songs, showing me pictures of their winter camping trip. And I felt these are the kind of adventures, these are the kind of awe-inspiring experiences that are going to last a lifetime for them and shape the people that they become. And for girls to have a chance to have that same experience that my son got to have in his Scouting years, it makes me feel really great for how women are going to be contributing in the future and how people will see women as these girls move into the workforce and demonstrate those leadership skills. I think it's going to be outstanding.
Oh, I agree. And it will be interesting to see how this all kind of pans out in the future with this and in these great advancements. So I've got to ask, can you tell me kind of your path? What's the path that you took to get to this point that you're at now in your Scouting career?
I was a Girl Scout when I was a girl, and I really enjoyed the Scouting experience that I had there, especially the camping. Although I didn't have the opportunity to be experiencing the same program that BSA offers. But then my son, Noah, he came home from school with a flyer and he wanted to be in Cub Scouts. His friends were in Cub Scouts. And so we decided we would get engaged in Scouting. And I saw all the impact that Scouting had on him. He had a great time. He had wonderful times with his friends, great adventures, but he also really grew into himself. He gained a lot of confidence, gained a lot of, I think, a spirit of adventure, willingness to try things. And so it was really, for him, a pivotal experience growing up. And so when I came to move back here to Minnesota, we had raised our kids in Georgia, so Noah's Scouting experiences were all in the Atlanta Area Council. But when we got back to Minnesota and I had the opportunity to volunteer in the community, I thought this is my chance to give back, to help make Scouting available to other kids who could have those same amazing experiences that Noah did.
Did you ever think back when you were a Girl Scout yourself and the things that you were doing that that was kind of the start of accumulation of things that kind of led to this point?
I don't think you ever think that way when you're a kid. All you're thinking about is, the ants on a log you're going to make for dinner. But no, it'd be fun to go back and see myself in those camping experiences that I had. And I'd love to be able to thank those leaders who had so much patience with us.
What's been your most meaningful experience in Scouting?
I think the most meaningful experiences I've had were probably the years I worked on the marketing committee, helping develop the messaging around Scouting, dealing with some thorny issues along the way, and trying to do everything we could to advance all the facts around Scouting, making sure people understood the impact that Scouting was having on the lives of young people, and trying to maneuver some of the obstacles and difficulties along the way. I felt like, for me, that was memorable, and I felt that I was able to contribute the skills I had in the communications field to help Scouting. So for me, that time was very memorable. The other thing I would say that's been really memorable is the times I've had to talk with the volunteers who are actually making the program happen on the ground. It's to me, it's been really inspiring to see the energy, the commitment. These are people who are raising families right now, and their hands are full, their schedules are booked, and yet they're still making time to do the scouting program and make it happen. And every time I get a chance to talk to the people that are out there doing it, I'm just really impressed, and that's been memorable for me too.
Not to put you on the spot, but can you think of a specific example from either marketing or working with those volunteers that just kind of stands out to you to this day?
I remember a visit I made to Camp Kiwanis, and I was watching and taking pictures of some of the volunteers for some marketing work that we were doing. And I was at the archery range, and I was watching this one woman working with a boy to try to help him manage the bow and arrow. And he was not doing well. The first 2 or 3 shots were just complete flops. And I could tell he was getting frustrated, but she was really patient with him and kept helping him readjust. And he hit the target. And to see the look on his face with he achieved that success and the joy that was there, that he was able to do something that was difficult, that he couldn't do right at the beginning, but in the end, he was able to do it. It was just wonderful. And it was one of those moments where somebody's confidence gets filled, that sense of, yeah, if it's hard, I can still figure it out and I could probably do it. That moment, you could see that on his face. And that was, for me, really memorable.
Oh, I think that's awesome. And I think there's so many scout leaders that get that experience over and over and over. Being a part of this organization is just phenomenal.
It is.
Hey, I want to ask, in addition to all the work that you've done with the council, you've also put a lot of effort into making a difference in higher education. If I were to say the words "umyaya" to you, what does that mean?
That is the St. Olaf fight song, and I'm sure you don't want me to sing the whole thing, but I sure could. Yeah, it was a real honor and privilege to serve on the St. Olaf Board of Regents, and I did a number of things there. I helped with their marketing program and helped them with hiring the person who's heading up their marketing efforts, as well as providing some input to the marketing campaign. That was a lot of fun to see how they were representing the school that St. Olaf has become. I enjoyed that quite a bit. There were so many great moments where we got to see the students doing extraordinary things. They always had us meet with the student leadership at every meeting that we had, and we got a really good perspective on what young people were thinking about, concerns they had, with the way they saw the world. I really like that opportunity to be around young people and hear what they have to say and how they see the world shaping up. I found that to be really rewarding.
Noah is an Eagle Scout, and you touched
Yes.
on it a little bit. And kind of knowing what you know now of the scouting program, you touched on a few of these things. But what have you seen in Noah that you think may not have been there if he hadn't gone through the program and earned his rank of Eagle?
I think for Noah, it was the need to stick with something and see it through to completion. I think as a younger boy, he would be very much, he would hop from thing to thing and wouldn't finish things. And I think as he got more involved with scouting and he had more responsibility and had to manage things over a longer period of time, he learned to stick with it, to drive through the harder parts or the less interesting parts or the things that were not appealing to him, but keep working for that outcome that he had made a commitment to. And I think that really shaped his ability to make commitments and keep them as he became an adult and had bigger and more complicated goals.
And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, for the rest of his life. Kind of all these skills and all this growth that he's had through scouting, how it'll play out. I bet you're pretty excited.
Well, he's already 28 years old, and so I've already gotten to see some of that in action. I think one thing about Noah that just really, I think, amazed me, and I think was attributed to what he learned in scouting, he decided to go back to school when after a few years after college, and earn his master's degree in electrical engineering. And his undergrad was political science. He didn't have an engineering undergrad. And even to get into engineering school meant he had to go back to St. Olaf and do a year and a half of just hard math classes. And then he had to apply to engineering schools. And he got into Carnegie Mellon, one of the best engineering schools in the country, and ended up getting his master's in electrical engineering. He's working now in Germany on self-driving cars. And that took a lot of grit and a lot of ability to just keep plowing through the difficult things to get to his goal. And I think a lot of that stick with it commitment, I think he got that from scouting.
Oh, that's so awesome. You're gonna be so proud.
I am.
So,
I'm really proud of him.
so we talked about your husband, and he was a leader in Noah's scouting unit or units. Can I ask, what do you think is the most important part, the most important characteristic, I guess, of being a scout leader?
I really think it's patience. And I'm sure it gets tested many, many times, but the kids are still learning. They've got to have the freedom to fail, and people need to be able to work with them through that and have that patience. And I think that's the most important quality.
As a former scoutmaster, yes, I think that is a very good characteristic. Is be patient, be calm, be calm. So
Be
thank
calm.
you. Often scouts are asked during a board review. The question is, what is the most important point of the scout law? Let's say this was your board review, and I asked you the same question. How would you answer that?
I thought about this because I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I would say trustworthy. And I noticed it's the first on the list. And I think at the end of the day, if you are trustworthy, if people can count on you to deliver, to come through with your commitments, if they can believe that you'll keep their confidence, I think all the other things really fall from that. That's how you are helpful. That's how you are brave. That is how you are courteous. I mean, it really is the foundational aspect of what it means to be a scout.
I agree with you. I do. And I think that is one of the reasons it's number one. Tell us something about yourself that most people don't know about you. We've talked about a lot of the things that you do in scouting and some of the other things you've done volunteer work, but something you think that others may not know about you that you can tell us about.
Well, I think I'd like to share a really amazing experience that I had that I imagine most people would know that I have done. But when I was in college, I got to spend a month in Egypt. And one morning, very, very early at 4 a.m., a group of my friends and I climbed up to the top of the tallest pyramid, and we got to watch the sun rise over Cairo. And I will never forget that. That was one of those mountaintop, kind of almost literally mountaintop experiences. And I don't think most people would know that I'd done that.
That's fantastic. I heard from a little birdie that you enjoy cooking and gardening.
Yes.
Is that something you've been able to partake quite a bit in? I know you're so busy. Do you even have time to do things like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I had more time, I think my garden would look a lot better. But um, I, I'm a very good customer of garden centers because I keep killing my plants and coming back and buying more. But I'm always hopeful. Every year, I'm always hopeful, and it's fun to get out there and dig around in the dirt.
Okay, Kari, as we wrap up this interview, I kind of want to give you the spotlight here a little bit. What would you like to say to the volunteers or leaders or youth of Northern Star Council?
I would like to say thank you. You are making an incredible difference in the lives of young people, and you don't even know how much you're helping them grow into adulthood and the impact you'll have as they move through their lives. Thank you for that. And also, I wanted to say thank you for persevering during a time when scouting has had some difficult moments. And I know it's not easy to see us go through what we're going through right now. And I am confident that because of the volunteers that I've met and that I've experienced, that scouting will remain strong. We'll get through these difficult times, and the work you do will continue. So thank you. Thank you for perseverance. Thank you for patience. Thank you for believing in the scouting program. And thank you for everything you're doing that's going to make a difference in the lives of young people.
I want to thank you, for giving the time for this interview. And again, hearty congratulations on this honor and all the best to you and your family, in the future. So thank you very much, Kari.
Thank you so much. It's been fun talking with you.